Okay guys, in this episode, John Shrek McPhee, the Sheriff of Baghdad, calls this one Training the Trainer. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm John Shrek McPhee, the Sheriff of Baghdad. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is train the trainer. You know, I get asked this all the time is when am I going to do a train the trainer? When am I going to teach people to be video diagnostic trainers? And I get posed this question a lot, and I just want to kind of talk about it in depth for a second to kind of explain where I'm coming from. Train a trainer. Train a trainer goes back to World War II. And most shooting programs and shooting instructor programs go back to World War II. And in World War II, they were trying to mass produce shooters for the war. So the goal was to get as many through as possible by giving the minimum amount of information. Well, fast forward to today's day and age, and you know, the NRA, you can be an NRA instructor in a week and never have it fired around. And truthfully speaking, I think this is the wrong way to look at training. Training also is 20 guys on the range, 25, 30 guys on the range, and they shoot an X number of drills. The instructor sets up scenarios, they shoot these scenarios, and you know, I think all this is at times good training, but I think the 80% of it is fine, and the other 20% couldn't be wronger. With the 20% that couldn't be wronger, here's kind of the way I see it. I was trained in small groups. I was trained in a small team. I was trained as, let's say, an Olympic athlete. I wasn't screwed with. I was fed. I had enough water. They made sure everything for me and my life was absolutely perfect. Every day I stepped up to come train. So for me to do things perfectly all the time was fairly easy. All I had to do was show up and perform. Well, the training industry has gone to this model of, you know, train as many guys as possible because guys are trying to make money. And this isn't the way to teach anybody at anything. You know, you don't see Olympic athletes training in groups of 30 or 35. You see them in groups of 1 or 2 per coach. And this is what I do with the video diagnostics. So as guys train in these big groups, they're really getting minimal or dumbed down information. Now, the fact that as guys train and they're getting trained by these organizations and they're getting trained in a couple days' time and they're getting trained in these big groups, what happens is this is grapevine information. And we all know how the grapevine works. And here's the way the grapevine works. If I had 30 people out on the range, I tell the guy to my left something, and then the final guy, you know, when he whispers it back to me, it comes back hookers and blow. The grapevine doesn't work. We all know this, and the train the trainer is grapevine information. So just because I might have an extra day and some, you know, an extra tidbit of information that I'm training guys doesn't make them a trainer. The train the trainer as a special forces guy. I've been downranged. I've trained the who's who of the tier 1 world throughout my career, and truthfully speaking, the train the trainer doesn't work. The train the trainer is grapevine information, and I can't stress that enough. So if a guy was going to be a video diagnostics instructor, or a guy, if I was going to train somebody, it would take maybe months or years for me to do it. And look at it this way, a jiu-jitsu black belt. A jiu-jitsu black belt, do you think that happens in a 1-week class? No, it doesn't. A guy has to go to the dojo. He has to put the time in. But yet in the shooting industry, a guy could be a trainer in just a week's time and never fired a round. This is kind of bizarre to me, and I don't understand this. So in jiu-jitsu, you know, you have to become a white belt to become a blue belt and work your way up to the black belt. Well, even though you might be hanging out with me, a black belt in shooting doesn't make you a trainer. Right? The trainer, I can't say this enough, is grapevine information, and I don't believe that in a week's time or a weekend class would certify you or qualify you in any way, shape, or form to be an instructor. That's just my opinion on Train the Trainer. I'm John Shrek McPhee, the Sheriff of Baghdad.